Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Funan Digital Life Mall here in Singapore. It is the Shanda Invitational. Best of 4 Dragon Nest is the game. It is the Dragon Nest Arena. We are about to go nuts here between the two sides. Singapore taking on the Philippines, and it is going to be some of the maddest 3v3 action you have ever seen. It is the two teams lining up for you. On my left-hand side, we have Singapore in the form of NFO, Ice, and VFO, and then over on the Philippine side, on my right, we have Walter, Shirel, and Jinmoor, the 3 players lining up for them. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be heading off to the map of the Lost Temple once again, so let's join them over there. The two sides are differentiated through the Acrobat and Mercenary classes. There is the Mercenary for the side of the Philippines, and the Singaporeans neglecting the class there in favour of an Acrobat. So this will make for interesting viewing because they are very different close-range classes, with the Acrobat having a little bit of mid to long range. So the Acrobat just going in there nuts, trying to bounce around, just giving some grief to that Mercenary as she goes to tail him. She chucks a couple of arrows in his general direction, drags him in there, just pulling him away from his teammates. So that is some good work there. VFO is the player playing the Acrobat for Singapore, as he gets himself off and racing and rocking and rolling in through the middle of the map. The Grand Cross ripping through a few players there from the players from Singapore. That is great work there as Ice throws that big Grand Cross through the middle of the wall. Good bouncing around going on from VFO as the Acrobat, and NFO here as the Elemental Lord for Singapore, throwing out the shot. They've already grabbed themselves 1 kill on the board. There's still a Priest and it looks like Mercenary standing. No, Priest and Elemental Lord standing as the Harry Potter broomstick comes on out. It is a big flame rod going all the way around the map. It's not going to grab a kill, but at the moment we've got a 2v2 situation, so the players are going to have to consolidate and try and take out a couple of players. The Elemental Lord just getting into trouble over by the Priest. The Priest are supporting as Priest and Elemental Lord versus Priest and Elemental Lord, and quick as you like. Big comeback from the Philippines, and they smash them into the corner. So 2 players in the corner. They had lower health to the Singaporean players, and as a result of that, they came away second best, unfortunately for them. So it'll be on to the next round. As the Singaporean team in the blue, they are on the Ancient side, and the Chaos run by the Filipino side in the red. So the two teams just coming together now, bouncing around from the Elemental there as she just gets tossed around into the map a touch. The Priest over in the corner, just struggling away there as the Holy Wars start to begin, but in the meantime they're interrupted by the Mercenary. Priest from Singapore just chucking out some shots there. That is Ice, the man on your screen right now. He continues to do some good work, and they'll continue to push on through. Caught in the corner a touch here, the Philippines, but they won't be too concerned about it as they continue to push on through. Shots are going out all over the place as the Mercenary just whirlwinding it up a touch there, and not really making too much of an impact at this stage with that shot. The continued push from both sides is here, as there's plenty of more. Flame Rod comes out there as one of the players goes up onto the broomstick there, Harry Potter styles, chasing the snitch, if you will. And it's going to be the first player down for Singapore. Second player goes down for Singapore. That's the Elemental Lord. It's going to leave just one still standing. Here he is, the Priest. He's going to be the subject of many offers from the Philippines of a takedown. And in the end, he will oblige with death any second. And it'll be 2-0 on the scoreboard in favour of the Philippines. And there it is. So 2 rounds coming up for the Philippines there. They're happy with the work that they're doing. Just a celebratory whirlwind there from our Mercenary friend as they get themselves another round on the board. So Singapore yet to grab a round, and they'll be looking to do so this one, I'm sure, as it starts to become crunch time for them. And another volley of arrows thrown out there by the Acrobat. That's VFO, who's the player who's doing that. As he starts to push on in through the mid. The Elemental Lord here, Jinmoor, he didn't have too much fun yesterday in the 1v1 situation, but he's having a whale of a time here with his teammates in the 3v3 as he starts to push on through. The shots are good ones going out at the moment as he's ganged up onto the Priest for Singapore. who now has some support from the Acrobat, but it's all going to be too little too late. The damage has already been done, and as a 3v3 situation starts to continue to push on through, and bouncing around from the Acrobat in the form of VFO continues to go through, it's going to be an interesting finish to this round as these two teams start to volley themselves all over the place in the corners. The Acrobat just getting caught into a whole host of trouble, bounced around all over the map, caught and under the troll bridge. It's going to be one touch and she'll be dead, I'm sure, as oh no, she's managed to recover it off, firing the shots on out, fires out the whirlwind, drags a player in. Now it's going to be combo time for her as she starts to, oh look at VFO go, he is absolutely annihilating and will do the damage, but in the end finally taken out. He was avoiding imminent failure, and it finally caught up with him, and it'll be the Philippines grabbing the round. They pummeled him into the corner on a great combo midway through that round, and in the meantime took out his two teammates, and VFO was left standing with just a pixel or two of health, and that would be his demise in the end. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the Shanda Invitational, of course, the two teams taking each other on here. Singapore taking the Philippines on. Singapore in the blue doing some very good work here to start themselves off. It's just not yet able to open their tally on the scoreboard, as the Filipino side is doing some great work in the meantime. Shots from VFO are struggling to hit their mark as the Priest comes in, slides on over and says, yo, what up? Smacks over the Acrobat to the corner, and then she takes some more damage onto the ice shards of the Elemental Lord. She's really having a not too much of a fun time getting caught in amongst all the problems. Singapore lose another player early on in the piece. Their Elemental Lord and Acrobat need to step up and do something extra special here, as the Elemental Lord goes broomstick styles onto that Harry Potter flame rod. It's almost an evasion tactic. At the same time, her opposite number does the same thing, and this could spell curtains indeed, as the mercenary is going to come into his play any second now, and it'll be bash crash into a corner, and the Elemental Lord will go down any second now. There we go. Three rounds turn into four. Three players still stand here once again for the Philippines, who have yet to lose a kill, I'm sure. So they're doing some very good work along the way through. So we'll just continue to follow these players as we do and go through the middle of the map here. They're just watching over through the middle of the map as they wait for everybody to come into an attacking situation. Shots start to progress on through. There's a big mashup of players going in through the middle. The lightning crosses get dropped and they start to come into full effect. The Acrobat gets the whirlwind out. This could be good work from the Acrobat here as VFO starts to finally get some work going on his way. The mercenary is really getting pummeled in the corner this time round, which is exactly what she wants to have happen. So VFO needs to do the work that is necessary for the Acrobat, but struggling at the moment. Once again, sharded up courtesy of the Elemental Lord from the Philippines. That is the player Jin Moore, as he gets dragged in once again, and it's going to be a close range face-off between Jin Moore and VFO. They're going tossing each other about as Jin Moore uses the flame rod to good effect to escape, but at the same time he's being chased by the very agile Acrobat. He gets the shots on out. The Acrobat's going to go 1v1. It's going to be all over. Yes, it is. Finally, the kill comes out, so the Acrobat gets on the board. Well done to the VFO. And in the meantime, the rest of his team has gone 3 players still standing, and Singapore will grab their first. So the health situation was a little bit dire for the Acrobat there on that situation, but he finally got himself a kill on the board, and what a kill it was. A good piece of work to take out what is effectively a decent ranged kill. So we'll have a watch of the players now as they start to get themselves set and ready to go. The 3 Filipino players happy to sit back and wait for Singapore to come to them underneath the troll bridge, and that's exactly what they do, just making sure that they maintain that open area advantage. There's the kill starting to push on now as everybody starts to come into effect. Here's the mercenary. That's the player in the form of Walter. He is pushing on through with that mercenary player for the Philippines and doing some great work here. He gets himself wound up and buffed up, but cops a bit of flame damage in the process. And then the lightning damage at the same time. Good work there from the two, but the combination from the Priest and the Elemental Lord, but they've already lost one here, have the Singaporean players. They're once again on the back foot with not really much sign of a relief to come from it as they start to get all the damage coming through at them. Flame Rod comes out as the Harry Potter broomstick gets used to full effect. More shots going in, firing on out through there as the fireballs go through. Shards come down. It's going to be a 3v1 situation. Just that man, the Elemental Lord standing, he will get absolutely pummeled into the corner. and that will be the end of the round. NFO stumbling there, and that will be 5 rounds to 1. A convincing first round victory. 6 kills to the Elemental Lord, 4 to the Mercenary, and 6 kills to the Priest, 5 to the Elemental Lord for the Philippines. So good work from them there on the map of Lost Temple. So convincing first round, not really much to write about if you're a Singaporean supporter, which I'm sure most of you are. The Philippines really hammering the victory home, 5 rounds to 1, and as a result it has turned into a very sticky situation for them. They'll be both mentally drained as well as physically in terms of their players, so they'll just switch sides, drop over to the opposite ends of the spectrum. The Ancients will now be taken up by the Philippine players, and the Chaos will be fulfilled by the Singaporeans, just waiting for that last Singaporean player to jump on across sides, and then we'll get ourselves back onto the map of Lost Temple. Lost Temple, of course, is a figure 8 map, ladies and gentlemen, and one which is proven very, very good with its tight corners and its variations that it has come up with. So one of those maps that has shown its mettle as a decent competitive platform. Of course, we're here at the Funan Digital Life Mall. The sponsors, Alienware, Intel, the Sound Image Productions, and Star Hub. Of course, the prize is sponsored by TT Esports, thanks to Thermal Take, and that's what these players are playing for, a bit of Thermal Take goodies and a few of the pieces of cash, which is exactly what they're after. We get our acrobat friend on, and everybody will be ready to rock and roll, so let's fire on back to the Lost Temple now. So here we go, stepping up. Let's see if the Singaporeans can do that. That's the name of the game. And Ricky Martin said it best when he said, do you really want it? And that's exactly what the Singaporeans will need to try and talk to each other about. Not much chatter coming from either side at this stage as they open the stanza of this second match. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it is first to 5 rounds, and that's exactly what you saw there. 5 very fast, furious rounds from the Philippines as they go right back into where they started from in the last matchup, going absolutely nuts and toe-to-toe. The sword shards come up there from the ice as the Ice Queens themselves, the Elemental Lords, get in and get amongst it. Big damage going on through the middle. Look at those vortex balls firing on through the middle as well as the Priest continues to push on through. The shots are going out all over the place. Here's the Mercenary and the Elemental Lord going and having a little bit of a battle out the back there on their little old lonesome. Elemental Lord is likely to get the raw end of that stick, but she just seeks some saving from her priestly friend and also the acrobat, who is now the ire of the Mercenary's attention and absolutely getting smashed in the background. So, Flame Rod comes out there, and it's a low health situation as the shots go firing on through. It's going to be trouble at mill for the Elemental Lord as she takes some refuge off the back of the Flame Rod and use the broomstick to full effect. Shots going out here, continue on, pushing on through. Another kill goes down. The Singaporeans, though, this time getting the benefit of it, of course, as shots continue on. The Priest here from Singapore pushes on through. They've lost one as well. That's not good news as far as you're concerned if you're a Singapore supporter, as it's turned into a 2v2 situation. The Elemental Lord and the Priest still stand for both sides. No, in fact, it's the Mercenary still standing for the Philippines, and here he is over in the corner, the Priest. They are split. They're absolutely split between the middle. Let's see what the Priests can do as they go into the spawn area on a holy war. The Mercenary tosses the Elemental Lord into the corner and takes her down. It is going to be a Priest v Priest holy war to start us off with, and then the Mercenary will come in to ruin the party, I'm sure, as here he comes indeed. Bashes the Elemental Lord, the Priest into the corner, and the Mercenary really needs to watch himself as the Priest once again hammered up into the top corner. It is poor old Ice copping the damage here on this occasion. He is absolutely ragdolled, and this round will be over in just a second, I'm sure. Well, he's managed to seek some solace out the back. They're going to get the heal rods out, so the heal crosses get dropped down, and that's going to help everybody out just a little bit here. Let's see what comes of it from now. The Holy War starts back in the entranceway to the spawn area. The Singaporean Priest Ice comes off the best as the area of effect boulder comes out from the Mercenary. It is Ice struggling against two, somehow managing to stay standing as he continues to try and pummel. Holy Wars will continue. No, they won't. As he continues to bash on through. No, there he goes. Taken down in the end. It was a valiant fight from the young man. Give him a hand for that, if nothing else. And in the end, he was taken out. So it'll be 2 players still standing for the Philippines on that occasion, and 1 round to zip. The Singaporeans starting quite nicely in that first round of the second match. but just not able to complete the task at hand. And that's exactly what they're going to have to do if they're going to come away with a win, ladies and gentlemen. So, Dragon Nest is what you're watching, ladies and gentlemen. 3v3 action here, courtesy of the Shanda Invitational Best of 4. The best teams from the Southeast Asia arena, including the Philippines, Singapore, and of course China and Malaysia. So they're all coming together to fight out to see who is indeed the best of those 4 nations. The shots are right back at spawn at the moment, and it looks like it's the Singaporean spawn at that. The mercenary here for the Philippines unloading very much the trouble that he can cause. The cyclone shot comes out there as he rounds himself up, and then he buffs himself and gets ready for another round of it. There's plenty of chatter going on from both sides as the Philippines grab the first kill onto the Singaporeans, so they've got a one-man advantage now as Flame Rod comes out all over the map, and a quick, swift victory for the Philippines. They have the Singaporeans in a world of hurt, and there's no real refuge for them at this stage. Alienware, Intel, Sound Image Productions and StarHub are the sponsors here this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you support them because they're supporting Dragon Nest in a great big way. Of course, the prize is sponsored by TT Esports by Thermaltake. And these players are keen to pick up their prizes. Mercenary for the Philippines gets aggressive. He rocks on in, buffs himself up as he gets a few ice shards coming on his very different little direction. His teammates are supporting him nicely though as the shots over in the background. It's going to be all on like Donkey Kong as the players start to come to blows. The priest for the Philippines is doing some great work here trying to take the Holy War battle to his opposite number. The Singaporeans getting bashed around a bit. Oh, now they're going toe-to-toe with the maces in hand. It'll be clerical wars right up close as they decide they'll split it back, and oh, here we go, some refuge from the mercenary from the Philippines as the last remaining player for Singapore is that man the ice, and he will not be much more than a toy for them at this late stage as they all just do rings around him, circle about him, and in the end he'll get smashed back to spawn and taken down. Another convincing victory for the Filipino team. They are having a field day, Jinmore, Sherelle and Walter. They continue to absolutely bash heads here in this Dragon Nest Shanda Invitational Best of 4 as we open another round up here. It is going to be the 4th round of this matchup. The first match, of course, taken out by the Philippines, 5 rounds to 1 in convincing fashion, and they'll be looking to make a better of that and make it 5 rounds to 0 here, and they're certainly on target for that at this stage. Priest is caught in the corner. They'll go toe-to-toe as a flame comes out like nothing on earth. It is Elemental Lords creating all sorts of heat in the kitchen. As more Elemental Lord action comes out, the ice comes out this time around. She shards up the Priest for Singapore as it's a still 3v3 situation. They're ganging up on the poor old Priest ice over in the corner, and now the Acrobat comes in to try and add some resistance as the form of the VFO. NFO comes on in, but he's not going to be much help either as he gets bashed to the ground, the Elemental Lord. So Elemental Lord, there goes the Grand Cross from ice out through the middle. Then the Elemental Lord jumps onto the broomstick, tries to take out his opposite number. He's going to shard her up, and then he's going to try and whack her in the head a few times. He's got her down to a decent level as the retaliatory flame rod comes out. She bounces around but it's taken out halfway through. So Singapore grabbed themselves the first kill of the round. Now they've got to consolidate, try and grab themselves around on the board. They grab the second kill. It is just going to be the mercenary still standing. He's always a handful at the best of times, but he's not going to be this time round. Singapore grabbed their first round. It'll be 3 rounds to 1 on the scoreboard. Singaporean teams, although in a little spot of bother here at 3 rounds to 1, it is definitely a recoverable situation, ladies and gentlemen, so they need your support here at the Funan Digital Life Mall. So get in and get amongst it and support your local team as they take on 3 of Southeast Asia's best, and in this situation it is the Philippines giving them the grief that they want to grab a win. The Acrobat here in the form of VFO goes bouncing on down into the back of the action. He goes right back to spawn of the Filipino players, but he's now stuck in a world of hurt. It is going to be whirlwind time, bashing and crashing out the back. It is absolute world of pain out here for all concerned. The Acrobat has been monstered to death, and it is going to be a 3v2 situation so early on, it's not even funny. The Filipinos have got the advantage here in a big way. They are going to smash down one. That's the Priest gone. Elemental Lord is left in a world of hurt. She will get ragdolled to the floor, jumped on top of, thrown about, tossed around, and then killed. 4 rounds to 1 on the scoreboard. The Philippines grabbing a retaliatory win after they lost one, and in very convincing fashion. So the next round begins, the 6th if you will, here in this second match. And it is match point for the Philippines. They've got all the rounds on the board, and they just need this one to win. Once again, 5 rounds to 1, which is what they took out the first matchup. And this has been a convincingly faster tete-a-tete, if you will, between these two sides than the previous encounter we saw between the Philippines and China, as the Chinese came away winning on that occasion. The Elemental Lords go battling out the back as it's all magic fire and ice going on out there. And now the Mercenary comes into play from the Philippines, but he's going to get stuck, and then he's going to disappear off from whence he came. The Grand Cross chucked up through the middle from the Priest from the Singaporean side. He then gets tossed around a bit by the Mercenary as it's all on through the middle. The ice is chucked out there, but there's a few buffs. There's also the Lightning Cross to cause grief and trouble, as the Priest looking to rain down merry hell here from Singapore. Flame Rod comes out there. It's cut down in size at just a touch and just a little bit in through the middle there. And then more shots coming through as they start to progress on through with the kills. Oh, big shot up through the middle there as the Filipino players losing a couple along the way, and they will in fact lose the round all the way through. There's a quick defeat in the end as the Singaporean team just grabbing a couple of those kills and then consolidating with the third to make it 3 kills to zip. And they still stood. So it'll be 4 round to 2 on the scoreboard at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just follow these two teams in through the middle and just watch them as they come to blows just underneath the troll bridge. The Philippine side has been quite content to sit back throughout most of this match, while the Singaporean side has been left to be the aggressor, and not on this occasion. The Mercenary pushing on through on his lonesome. He's lots of discussion through from the Philippine side. They are absolutely vocal as anything. The Singaporean side remain very, very quiet, calm and collected, you could say, but maybe they're just absolutely kicking themselves that they need to win this round. It is more flame and fire and ice going on through the middle. There's electricity galore, ladies and gentlemen, and here comes one of the key contributors to the fire and ice in the form of the Elemental Lord from the Philippines, and that is Jin Moore. He is unloading merry hell onto his opposite number at the moment, and he's also got the assistance from his mercenary friend. They shard him up, then the flame rod comes out. That is going to be lethal, if not, yes, it is going to be lethal, I'm sure. There's already been one player taken down from the Singaporean side. The Acrobat still stands. She's trying to unload as VFO utilises her to good effect. The Elemental Lord has been taken out for Singapore. It is going to be Acrobat and Priest teaming up to try and do the damage. The Acrobat here from Singapore getting hurt into a corner, taken down and dropped, in fact. That'll be her done and dusted. This could be over, said and done for Singapore as the Priest is bashed into the air. And then we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, bash, 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 and... ooh, electrical relief for a moment there, but it's, there we go, that'll be that one done. You know when the whirlwind comes out that it's all trouble at mill. 8 kills to the Mercenary, huge contributor. Just appears that the Acrobat versus Mercenary combination is not going to be one that you want to contribute once again. 5 kills to the Elemental Lord and 2 for the Priest, and that made the Philippines the win. 5 rounds to 2 in the end on Lost Temple.